So, it has been a month since we PC players finally got HSW vehicles, and you know what? I've owned most of them now, except 7 of them. So these 7 vehicles will not be included. But yeah, I'm gonna rate all the vehicles. It's gonna be based on driving experience. It's not gonna be like, oh wait, it's very fast here, it's very it's not gonna be based on lap times and top speed and all things like that. It's just gonna be based on driving experience basically. With that in mind, 7 vehicles that are gonna be missing from this countdown, so to speak, or tier list, will be the Arbiter GT, the Entity MT, the Euros X32, the AC Rally, the Italy GTO Stinger TT, the Vigero ZX, and the Weaponized. Now, I don't own these vehicles just because I am cheap, I guess, or you could say frugal, because I just don't feel like buying them right now. Maybe I'll wait for a discount. First stop, Astron Custom. This thing for an SUV is actually pretty good. After the HSW upgrade, I feel like the brakes are a bit weak, but nothing unmanageable. The handles great. The top speed is sufficient, I would say. So I would say this vehicle belongs at least in the A class. So the Banshee is next. I would say it is quite unremarkable. I mean, it's not bad, but there's nothing it does that really makes it stand out apart from the other HSW vehicles. It seems like if you were to upgrade this thing to HSW, it's sort of like taking an old toy out of the attic, dusting it off a little bit, give it a new coat of paint, and take it on the street to have a little joyride, you know? It's fun to drive, I would say. It's definitely an improvement upon the regular Banshee, but it's definitely not something you would use in a mission. It's something you would just use to drive around to get to from point A to point B. Overall, an unremarkable yet nostalgic car, I would say. I would give it a C rank. Alright, now comes the big dog, the Banshee GTS. Fastest top speed in the entire game for a regular car. In fact, under the right circumstances, it might even outpace the Vigilante in the straight line. But the thing is, it has no brakes. It's like you have a Banshee GTS, and then you slap on the brakes of a slam van into it. You upgrade the power of the vehicle by 150%. Naturally, you would want the brakes to match that at least 150%. But it seems like we turned the brakes up by 10% and left it there. And that's it. When I first got the Banshee GTS, I started questioning, wait a second, have I driven in GTA before? This thing feels like I'm back to tutorial again. I really need to learn how to handle this thing, and at high speeds, if you want it to turn, you're gonna need to start braking at around at least 25 to 40 meters before its usual braking point. Definitely a new experience, but other than its straight line speed, the handling is a bit hit or miss, I would say. I pretty much prefer the handling of the regular Banshee GTS than the Banshee GTS HSW. So where would I rank this? I would say also C rank. Yes, I'm rating this speedster the C rank for making me smash into vehicles because of the lack of brake power and making me question my ability to drive a regular car. Brioso RA. What a forgettable vehicle. Don't buy this car, get the club instead. It doesn't have HSW, so it won't cost you as much. Just get the club. Do yourself a favor, get a club if you want a fast compact vehicle. Well, how would I rate this thing? Brioso RA is very forgettable, I would say. It doesn't like the curbs a lot, I would say. It oversteers a whole bunch. And pretty much every corner you take, it is a dice roll. And any roll you get less than 6, you are spinning that car. So, yeah, I wouldn't rate this any higher than E class. Next up, Buffalo EVX. And it's one of the 3 HSW vehicles that has a money tag as well. Which means there's a deeper hole that in your pocket than you would actually realize. But otherwise, it has the armor plating mod, that's good. Which makes it explosive resistance. It's also... the handling is okay, I would say. Once again, nothing remarkable. But it also won't kill you. Because it's a muscle class, you would expect to drive it like a standard muscle car, like a Dominator or anything like that. No, you drive it like a mid to low tier car, like a Buffalo or a Buffalo S. But yeah, other than that, the acceleration is slightly better than the average muscle car, but other than that, nothing much. It looks good, I would say. I would put it somewhere in the A. No, sorry. I think the B tier would suit this car well, because let's face it, the handling is okay. That's all I can say. The speed is... I won't fall asleep driving this thing, I guess. It's not slow enough to do that. But that's about it. I'll put it in B. Yeah, B. Alright, Cyclone 2. Can you believe I waited 5 years for this car? And the moment I bought it, the acceleration pretty much gave me a whiplash. That thing is fast on acceleration. Now, apart from that, it also has a bit of a weakness. I feel like it doesn't like the curbs a lot. Sometimes when you expect to just ride over the curbs, it hits it like a bloody wall. That's the one gripe I have about it. Also, the acceleration is so quick. If you don't need to accelerate for very long, so let's say you're at Vespucci Beach, you know the straight lines there are extremely short before you hit a junction. You might over accelerate and you might struggle to brake. So other than the short straights and the curb hits, it feels okay. For an electric vehicle, it actually has a decent top speed. Nowhere compared to like the Banshee GTS or something like the Turismo Classic, I guess, or the Weaponized Ignus, but it feels okay. It's a bit quirky to drive. Just, you know, each time you hit the curb, say a prayer before you do. Or if you're not religious, close your eyes, because you don't know. You might actually hit the curb, or you might ride on it. Let's just hope you're riding on it. So where do I rank the Cyclone 2? I think it does well enough to warrant an A rank. Next up, Deveste 8. Now this was a huge surprise for me. Because when I upgraded this... Okay, let's talk about before I upgraded the Deveste 8. I really wouldn't use it much at all. It's pretty much just a trophy piece in my garage. But I don't know why, after I upgraded it with HSW, it feels so much more stable now. I don't know if anyone is feeling the same, but I no longer feel the fishtailing effect that used to be so prevalent on the Deveste 8. It actually feels like I have control of the car for once. And, well, with upgraded top speed, that wouldn't hurt. I have to say, the Deveste 8 is definitely one of the more surprising and very satisfying car to drive after I upgraded with HSW. And where would I put this car? It's gonna be the first car I put on S tier in terms of improvement to its regular self. So yeah, a big fat S tier for the Deveste Eight. Next stop, Firebolt ASP. Now, if you've done enough Darnell Brothers missions, I guarantee that you probably have driven this car at least once. Because it's free. It's right there. It's like, here, Rockstar says, here, test drive this. A little teaser. And the Firebolt ASP, I would say it is sufficient. It does everything right. The handling, good. The speed, good. The acceleration, good. Its off-roading capabilities, which is what you expect from an off-road class, very good. Not just good, I would give it very good. There's nothing more to say, I guess. It actually handles itself much better than I expected. I was expecting it to be a bit on the slower side, but the speed kind of surprised me. I mean, it looks like a pickup truck. You don't expect it to... You don't really expect it to do very well in terms of top speed, but it does. Given it's not really groundbreaking, but it does more than you expect. I would say Firebolt ASP in terms of driving experience, definitely, you know what, it's joining the Deveste Eight in S tier as well. So, Hakuchou Drag, it's the only motorcycle here. It's definitely a time trial machine, I would say. But the weakness is that because it's not even by its design, because it is a motorcycle, you expect it to zip through the traffic like nothing. Now, I don't know about you, but because it's a motorcycle, my brain keeps telling me, you know what, take this corner full speed, no problem. And the next problem, I'm kissing the tarmac. So, when you're driving the Hakuchou Drag, just be careful. It's not the most nimble around corners, especially around high speeds. Just decelerate a little bit, hit the brakes a little bit, you know. Other than that, I find that it is a very competent time trialing machine. It's something I used on a weekly basis to beat the time trials. If I find that I'm in a high traffic area, so let's say like downtown Los Santos, I would probably use the Hakuchou Drag because that way I can zip in and out of traffic. And it also handles, well, much better than a car. I mean, for a motorbike standard, it is nothing around corners. It feels like trying to get a brick around a corner. But for when it's competing against HSW vehicles, which is, well, cars, it's actually okay. Where would I put this? I would put it in A tier, I would say. Oh boy, the La Coureuse. I've been waiting for this vehicle to get HSW for such a long time. The La Coureuse pre-HSW was already a fantastic vehicle to drive. Yeah, it's weak on top speed, but who cares? It's an electric vehicle, you don't expect it to be fast on top speed. But not only that, it corners like magic. Like seriously, take a pre-HSW La Coureuse and take it up the mountain roads. It feels so good to drive it. You can flat out some of the corners and the grip is just there. Now with HSW, it definitely gained more speed. I feel like the handling may have dropped a bit, but not enough to warrant me not using it. It is also small, I would say, so going in and out of traffic, it is quite easy. So I would say acceleration is, well, a bit weak for an electric vehicle actually. Like compare it to the Neon, I think the Neon can still beat the La Coureuse in terms of acceleration off the line, but after about 2-3 seconds, you'd see the La Coureuse waving by and kicking dust in the face of the Neon. So La Coureuse, where do I put it? Oh yeah, not to mention, the off-road capabilities of this thing was unexpectedly good too. I would put it maybe also S tier. Oh boy, the MonstroCiti. Yet another Imani Tech vehicle that you can get for HSW. It's second of 3, I think. And I think this thing has a lot more potential than the way I'm driving it shows. I feel like it really oversteers a lot on dirt. This is why I prefer the Firebolt ASP for off-roading. Maybe it's because of the short wheelbase or whatever, but it's definitely not my cup of tea in terms of off-roading capabilities. Other than that, the acceleration is surprisingly fast. Not as fast as the Firebolt I would say, but the acceleration is surprisingly fast. And that's pretty much it. But I really don't fancy this thing. I feel like this is the money waster, at least in my book. You know, you make your own judgment, but in my book, it is a money waster. And even though on paper it is supposed to be way faster than the Firebolt, at least that's how I remember it, I can't maximize this car. That's the problem. And with that being said, because of the oversteering tendencies, also its higher center of gravity makes it flip like a bloody pancake. I might have to put this down to C class. Sorry, fans of MonstroCiti. I guess that's just where I see it. Now, the Niobe. Wow. Okay, so if I love the Coureuse, I would say the Niobe would be the alternate choice to Coureuse. Mainly because it is faster on the straights, it handles well around corners. It's a very good all-rounder. The only place where I feel that Coureuse has an upper hand compared to the Niobe is off-roading. And even then, the Niobe is still no slouch. Even though it's not as good as the Coureuse at off-roading, it's still no slouch. It actually does okay off-road. For something that's not supposed to go off-road, it does okay off-road. That's all I have to say. It's good as an all-rounder. The acceleration is good. The top speed is not the fastest. We have Banshee GTS to thank for that. But still, very good. Everything is good. Good enough for it to be an S class. Yes, I'm placing this above the Coureuse because it actually is a pretty sweet driving experience for me. Oh boy, S95. Where do I begin with this? Rockstar still owes me $2 million for this thing, by the way. Other than that, it feels like one of those experimental HSW vehicles, and it definitely shows. Of course, it has a lot of wheel spin on acceleration, sort of like the RE7B back in the day. Actually, RE7B still wheel spins nowadays. Yes, I'm on keyboard, I drive on keyboard, so of course it wheel spin. It surprisingly, once it enters like second or third gear, it actually handles okay. I wouldn't say good, but okay. It's as much credit as I can give it. It's definitely a struggle to drive, I would say. Nothing. It feels like an experiment they did back when HSW first came out, along with the first 5 vehicles like the Arbiter GT, the Cyclone 2, and all that. Definitely it feels like an experiment, to be honest. Nothing spectacular. Also, not too bad, I would say. B class for this thing. Now, if S95 were... well, if S95 was an experiment of a fresh HSW vehicle, the Sentinel XS very much feels like an experiment of a current vehicle being upgraded to HSW. It feels very much like an experiment like that as well. It is unremarkable, I would say. It's there, you can upgrade it. I mean, you can grab one off the street and you can get a HSW right there. It's probably the only HSW vehicle that you can get without purchasing the base vehicle to begin with. Maybe it handles okay for a coupe, but not. But now it has been outclassed by like the Euros X32 and the FR36, I would say. The only place it has in terms of an advantage over those two cars is its not even its top speed. I think the Euros X32 is faster than it in terms of top speed. Yeah, nothing remarkable. It's very ordinary for a HSW vehicle. I would put it as the first vehicle in D class. Stirling GT, the car that belongs in sports and sports classics. And now let's throw muscle car into the classification. Why? Well, it handles a lot like a muscle car at low gears. At gear 1, gear 2, it actually feels a lot like a muscle car, the way it handles. It feels like it's steady at first, then the moment you try turning a corner while in first gear, you start spinning. I would say. But once it hits like up to the third gear and all that, it feels like, holy shit, this thing should not be driving this fast. Someone slow this thing down. Then you put your legs through the undercarriage of the vehicle and try to Flintstone it to a stop. And nah, other than that, it actually feels a lot livelier than the base version in Stirling GT. It feels like a lively car to drive, I would say. And well, with a bit of practice, I feel like I can actually maximize this thing. But practice is something I'm too lazy to do nowadays. So Stirling GT, I would say it can be in B rank. Not too bad at all. Oh boy, Turismo Classic. You know what they say, first impressions matter. My first impression on this thing probably drove it down a couple ranks, honestly. I already can't handle the Turismo Classic as it is, like pre-HSW, because I feel like it oversteers a lot. And whenever we have a sports classics race back in those days, I would usually pick the Cheetah Classic for a reason. And that's because the Turismo Classic is just no good for me. I understand that some people can actually drive this thing like bloody Michael Schumacher or Fernando Alonso. I can't. I'm Nikita Mazepin when it comes to driving the Turismo Classic. And your first experience in HSW is a Turismo Classic. And that thing handles like, well, I don't want to say brick again, but yeah, it handles like a brick. It doesn't like the curbs. It feels like it has top speed, and its handling can't handle the top speed, I would say. Now, because of that, where am I gonna put the Turismo Classic? Believe it or not, it's gonna accompany the Brioso R8 in E class. I have no good things to say about this vehicle. I now own 2 of this, by the way, so yeah, it's just gonna gather dust in the garage. Alright, the second to last vehicle, Vigero ZX Convertible. Keep in mind, Vigero ZX and Vigero ZX Convertible are 2 separate vehicles, and I did not own the hardtop one. I have the convertible one. So with that being said, how do I rank this thing? Well, it is a muscle car. It very much drives like one. It is unremarkable as well. I'm running out of it. I don't have an adjective for this other than unremarkable. It feels nice to drive though. It feels nice to drive. I don't have any qualms about it. And just drive it like you would any other muscle car and you're good. So for that, I'll have to put it in B class. Oh wow, weaponized Ignus. Yeah, this thing is a lot more agile than I gave it credit for. Like before driving this thing, I was like, okay, I can expect maybe RE7B or Tyrus level of handling. But then the moment I got behind the wheel, started making my first turn, and I'm like, whoa, where's all this grip coming from? Now because of the minigun on top, This is what I like to call the fight or flight vehicle. Why? Well, it's capable of fighting anything. And if in a pinch, because of its speed and grip and all that, it's capable of flight. Well, not capable of flight literally, but you know, it can evade the cops easily enough. It can turn on a dime, and I feel like this thing is, I don't know, it might now be my muscle car, muscle car, supercar of choice to drive from point A to point B. The only downside I see is that the range of operation of the minigun is only as wide as the car itself. With that being said, there's also one more thing I don't like about the car is it is very wide. Like, so sometimes weaving around Los Santos traffic, it is a bit hard. More often than not, you might find yourself parking your car up on a tree, or you might hit a pole that you did not intend to hit. But other than that, I would say driving it feels very good. I would put it in, well, I want to say S-Class, but really not. But it deserves a very good A-Class as well. Alright, so after all that, this is the final result right here. Now notice Banshee is now in B, even though I said C earlier. Even in edit, I'm still gonna write C in the Banshee part, but I'll do a note at the end here, which is right now. The Banshee, I decided to push up to B class because for me, C class are vehicles that I have small gripes with. But Banshee, really nothing. It just feels like normal. But other than that, you know, you guys let me know how you would class these vehicles based on the way you drive and how much you like it. Don't just look at the charts on GTAcars.net and be like, yeah, you know what, Weaponized Ignus is S-Class, yeah, Hakuchou Drag is S-Class. No, based on the way you drive, okay? I understand pace-wise they are very good, but sometimes you can maximize it. It's just not something you can manage. So other than that, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And also one more thing, the 7 vehicles which I did not own. If you have some sort of knowledge about it, let me know which ones I should buy. The Stinger TT, I definitely have no intentions of ever owning one, unless it's a podium vehicle, then I might try for it. But I definitely would not drop cash on it in terms of buying the base car. So there are also things like the Arbiter GT, which I heard is not that favorable to drive. But other than that, I heard Viva Knight is okay, but I don't want 7 vehicles I do not own for a reason. And some of them I might own if it's a discount, but if it's not discounted, yeah, it's not getting my patronage. So other than that, I also want to do a little announcement at the end here, a short one. Other than GTA videos, I also intend to stream Pokemon randomized Nuzlocke every now and then. I'm thinking like every 2 days I would stream one. I might start with Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Maybe next week or the week after next. We'll see how it goes. So let me know if you wanna, stop by and, chat a little bit. I would appreciate the companionship, So other than that, have a nice day. And, don't throw pitchforks at me and at each other over our opinions in cars, okay? Just, everyone's entitled to their own opinions, Maybe you would put the Sentinel XS in S-Class, who knows? So yeah, don't throw pitchforks at each other and, have a nice day. Bye-bye.